5, 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1. What is going on, everybody? What's up, what's up, what's up? You are checking out something that we call the Cipher 360. I am your host, Marcus the Kid Warren. With me is my man, Muff. How you doing today, sir?
I'm cool, man. I've switched to a different drink.
Yes,
as you
I've
see,
noticed.
I've gone to Amp Energy. Not because I wanted to, it's because that's all I had access to at the time. And this thing is probably like, I don't know, 200% more than what I normally get as far as price is concerned. But at any rate.
You get what you pay for it.
You get what you, well.
Probably a little cocaine in there.
Probably a little cocaine up in this thing.
Nothing wrong with that.
I got some Molly in here. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Hey, at any rate, welcome back to the Cipher, guys. Interesting thing here. I know that I talked to you a couple of weeks ago about we got to start doing hip hop that we feel is absolutely dope. And stop looking at me like you're gay, because that's what it's looking like. You're looking like you.
This is gay. This is the gay look.
Yeah, it's the gay look.
This is the gay look.
You look like you're smitten with what it is I'm saying.
I am smitten with what you're saying, but it's not a gay. You want to see my gay? You want to see my?
No, I don't. No, that's your flamboyant look. He does that real well, guys. Real well.
Yeah, peace out to my gay brothers and sisters, man. Shit.
Yeah, no, yo. Hey, listen, man. Hey, listen, though. Real talk. Getting back to the dope, we want to review some real dope albums. Now, you know, last week we talked about Inspector Deck and 7L and Esoteric. You know, dope album. We got some good feedback from you guys on that as it being dope, and you know, it's kind of unanimous that it is a dope album. This album here, I think, is pretty dope too. It's Gensu Dean and Planet Asia, one of my favorite MCs. Gensu Dean, one of the one of the underground producers I've been on for a little bit. They collaborated and put together Abrasions, the new album they have out here. Here's the thing: you got to have an ear to the underground to really appreciate this album, in my opinion. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Planet Asia's his flow is definitely of an underground MC. You'll never see Planet Asia, to me, on 106 and Park just spitting. You're not gonna see that. This is a dude who gets in there, gets in ciphers. He has that type of delivery, in my opinion, to where no matter what beat you give him, he makes that beat his own. That's the way he rhymes to me. This is no different. I thought from front to back is a really solid listen, because I didn't know what it was I was going to get into when I actually listened to this album. Production is tight. Not overwhelmingly tight, but just kind of like Black Belt Theater. It's the same thing. Okay. Really solid production. Not overwhelming production, but the kind of production that sets the stage for his rhyme style. What do you think about this?
Well, again, I agree with you totally that it was a very, very tight, well put together album. Yeah. And you know, Planet Asia, let me tell you, when I listen to Planet Asia,
when you listen to it,
you know, everybody has this vision or has a place that they used to go to. I remember back in the day there was a club called the Icon. All right, now the Icon. Well, was this yeah, you know, was this club? It was nasty. I've never seen it with lights on. And probably, thank God, it's probably disgusting. But you know, it was dark in there. It was a little nasty. All they did was play straight hip hop all night. They sold 40s at the bar. It was just crazy.
Zimas too.
Yeah, Zimas too. I mean, just kind of crazy, just kind of crazy hip hop feel. Nothing but J. Rue the Damager, Onyx. You know, all
Black
Moon, all kinds of real hip hop. And at a certain time of the night, they would always let like a few MCs get on the mic and spit 16.
Absolutely.
Planet Asia is that dude that I would love to just to sit here. I can listen to him rhyme all day.
All day.
He is that dude who can like grab a mic and just spit forever of crazy bars, and I am totally, I was gonna say in love with it, but that would be a little gay.
Well, no, but here's the thing though about Planet Asia, man. He sounds. I know I had a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday about I hate when certain MCs don't sound like the region they're from. Like A$AP Rocky is an example of that. Here's a guy that like is from New York, but he says his influence is Pimp C. Go figure. I hate that. When you're in New York, MC sound like you're from New York. Now, ironically enough, Planet Asia is from the West Coast. He doesn't really sound like a quote unquote West Coast MC, but West Coast underground MCs very much so. But really, the West Coast underground MCs, you can tell, model themselves after New York MCs with the way that they rhyme. Okay. As far as rhyme cadence and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, again, Planet Asia, incredibly dope to me. I've been on Planet Asia, even hearing them rhyme on stuff by Madlib back in the early 2000s, late 90s, man. Just ill. Absolutely ill, man. Abrasions, the whole album. I mean, front to back, I can pick out individual songs. I mean, we talked about
Chichi Get the Yayo.
We talked about that song, Off the Hook. You know, Bar Mitzvah is dope. I mean, just, you know, it's just incredibly dope from front to back. Thyself with David Banner. You know, he dropping a little science, a little knowledge on you with that.
Let me tell you about David Banner.
Tell me about David Banner.
I wasn't on David Banner when he first hit the scene. I wasn't on David Banner that much, but lately I've really been paying attention to this cat. And you are right. He's a very, very smart guy.
Very smart.
And did a cameo on this one and did a great job.
In fact, you know, go back if you guys are not familiar with David Banner, but like, you know, the kind of production we typically talk about here at the Cipher, check out the album he did with Knife Wonder about a year, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, by the way. It's real dope, actually. It's interesting to hear Knife Wonder production with the Southern MC, like David Banner. So, and I like David Banner as a Southern MC because he kind of destroys the stereotype of the
country bumpkin.
Yeah. I'll just say it like that.
Yeah.
You know, Southern MC.
Very smart guy.
Very smart guy.
I just want to touch on this whole thing about you don't sound like where you're from. I think that's a bunch of bullshit, actually. Because I love it. I love it when an MC from the West Coast sounds like they're from the East Coast. I mean, the Alcoholics.
See, now, let me tell you where I don't. This is where I'm gonna disagree with you. We just gonna have to call it bullshit because you look at East Coast. New York is the birthplace of hip hop to me. All right, this is where you're from. All right,
I mean, it's the Bronx.
Hang on. So if you know South Bronx is where it started from, we'll just call it New York as the whole city.
Okay.
If you're an MC from New York City, I don't want you. To me, it's like you're following what you feel the trend is in hip hop, as opposed to staying true to yourself. And I think it kills hip hop as a whole when you do that. Because you don't feel, because if you look at what's really popular now in hip hop, you don't hear a lot of New York MCs. Typical New York MCs, I should say. Typical New York MCs right now are pretty much underground. The only New York MCs you see right now just really killing is a guy like, say, like Jay-Z. But that's the only guy pretty much doing it on the mainstream. And I think hip hop suffers as a result of that. People think everybody wants to sound like Lil Wayne. That's South. You know what I'm saying? If you're in the West Coast, people try to sound like people on the West Coast. You know, even Midwest guys, typically underground guys in the Midwest, starting off with people like Jay Dilla, all the way to Common, all the way to Kanye West. These are Midwest MCs over in Chicago specifically.
Okay.
Those guys pay homage to New York MCs. I like that because it's better for hip hop in general, because I never want hip hop to lose its roots of where it comes from, and I'm passionate about that. So that's why I say, and I don't expect you to agree, but that's why I say I hate when New York MCs specifically try to dismiss their roots of who they are because they're trying to follow a trend just because they think it's popular as opposed to the art form itself.
Well, to that point, I will agree with you, but I mean, if somebody's being true to themselves, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, there's a lot of West Coast MCs. I mean, are all West Coast MCs trying to, or should they all sound like New York MCs? They should, or let me repeat that. Should they sound like they're from the West Coast? Should everybody from the South sound like they're from the South? You know, and I don't think that, you know, like you have so many MCs. I mean, throughout time, I mean, like I said, the Alcoholics, Farside. I mean, they didn't really sound like they were from Lady of Rage. She sounded like she was from New York.
That's my point.
But they were from the West Coast.
No, but listen to my mind. That's not my point. It's like you have to sound from the region you're from. I'm saying when you're a New York MC.
Oh, you're specifically talking about
specifically about New York itself. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Screw you, my hand gestures.
But I mean, let's agree to disagree. But somebody from New York. I mean, I agree.
Disagree to the right. We can keep on.
And I agree with you that somebody from the East should not be trying to sound like they're from the South.
That's my point.
I agree with that. But I mean, but then you have to say, well, everybody. You know, then you have to say, well, East Coast, South. I mean, you're from the South. You're supposed to sound like you're from the South. If you're from the West Coast, you're supposed to sound like you're from the Midwest. You have to sound like you're Midwest. But I mean, but I do agree with you that you should not be fake when it comes to stuff like that. If you just want to make a hit. But then again, we don't really pay that much attention to those as MCs anyway.
Well, look at it like this. I'll say it like this. Okay, let's suppose I'm from the East Coast. I see right now it's trending as people sounding like Lil Wayne. But I know what hip hop really is. I really know. I grew up on this crap. I know what's really good in hip hop. Okay. I'm trying to sound like Lil Wayne. Okay, why am I trying to sound like Lil Wayne?
Because you're trying to make a hit, and that's whack.
I'm trying to make a hit, and that's whack. You're not trying to do it for the art form of it. You're trying to go and feed and line your pocket. Look, I'm not hating on you. Your hustle. Do what you got to do. Feed your family. Get popular. But I'm all about the art form of hip hop. So from an artist standpoint, from the art form, I say stay true. If you're a New York MC, bring New York up out of there. Bring New York out to the forefront so these young people who don't really understand how dope hip-hop really is and what's whack and what's not whack, that's what gets lost in this to me.
Okay.
When you follow trends in hip-hop, you don't even know what's whack and what's not whack. It's only people in the mainstream right now who get mad publicity, and these kids don't even understand that it's really whack. You know what I'm saying.
Oh, well, I mean, we call it whack. You know, everybody else calls
it's whack.
It's the hotness.
We is whack. Look, I'm gonna be self-righteous about it. It is whack, some of this stuff I hear out there.
Oh, and trust me, I agree. I agree with you about the whole East Coast thing. Now, I still feel a little funny about it. I mean, if you're being true to yourself, okay, and if you don't necessarily sound like you're from New York and you're from New York, as long as you hot, you know what I'm saying, I'm not gonna hate on you. But anyway, let's move on because we can argue about this all day, which I'm sure we will be doing later after we finish the segment.
Wait till I get a beer in. I'm gonna just swing on him. I kid. No pun intended.
But anyway, you want to go ahead and rate this one?
Yeah, let me go ahead and rate it. I give it a solid 3.5. Solid 3.5. Gensu Dane, Planet Asia collaboration. A lot of collaborations lately too. We've been, that's kind of, is that an underground trend? All these collaborations
I don't know. We've been talking about that for a couple of years. I mean, I remember making the reference to the Super Friends and stuff like that. You know, or a comic book when two of your favorite or superheroes got together and they teamed up. DJ
Premier and Bumpy Knuckles.
Yeah, just stuff like that.
7 Esoteric and Inspector Dead, Gensu Dane and Planet Asia.
I love it.
It happened. So at any rate, I love collaboration when they work. So they don't always work.
True.
3.5 for me. Where are you at on it?
3.5 for me as well, man. It was a very well put together album. And you know the thing is, to me, as I'm sitting here listening to it, I can almost imagine that I'd like to do this a lot. How these collaborations happen, and I can just see the two dudes. It's one dude called another dude. Yeah, you want to do an album? Yeah, come on over. Let's do this. It wasn't like premeditated. It wasn't anything that something. Okay, we're gonna go in this angle. We're gonna go in that angle. It wasn't that at all. It was just straight hip hop.
Boom bap, straight up.
Straight up. But I mean, it was like something that was. I don't want to say raw. But it was just put together like two dudes just got together and made some great music, and that's what this is. 3.5 from me. 3.5 from my man right here. Yes, don't forget to check us out on Facebook. We are the Cipher Crew. You can also hit us up on Twitter. We are Kid and Muff 44 on Twitter. That's KIDDANDMUFF 44 on Twitter, and also Kid and Muff 44 on Gmail. Hit us up. Let us know what you think of us. Let us know what you think of all the music. And send us some of your music. And a lot of you guys have been sending us all that stuff, and we really appreciate it. Keep on watching us. And that's all I got, man.
That's all I got, man. You know what? I gotta check our Twitter account too. I know you're on it, but I haven't checked it lately. So he's probably on Twitter, crapping on him. Muff don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, usually.
This dude over there.
Yeah, no. As a matter of fact, don't check Twitter. At least let me delete some of the Twitter tweets that I've been putting out. Yeah, usually the most BS that you see on our Twitter account, that's me being stupid.
Whatever.
But anyway, 3.5 from a man, 3.5 from me. Check it out. Why? Because the Cipher said so, son. Get out of here. Peace.
My man Trey, and you don't stop. Johnny Boombats, and you don't stop. My man Muff, and you don't stop. My nigga Woo, and you don't stop. Little Brooklyn, and you don't stop. Grand Jury, and you don't stop. Jay White, and you don't stop. Cipher Music, and you don't stop. Check it. We rise from the grave with the eyes of a slave. We strive to survive, rocking the mic live. No surprise that we paid. We created a trade that became a craze. It wasn't vice versa. Gave birth to a verse and baptized it in cursive. If you thirst for the real, then travel no further. We murdered the fraudulent motherfuckers and went out to get burgers. We hip hop carnivores, living by